Hey, welcome. Have you ever wondered what separates a basic travel post from a story that really, truly sticks with you? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain. We're not just looking at a place, we're breaking down how you tell its story in the most powerful way. All right, let's get into it. So, what is it? What's that secret sauce? Is it just about, listing off a bunch of facts and sites? Or is there something deeper? A way to craft a story about a place that makes people feel like they're right there with you. If you're creating content, you know that's the goal, to make something that people remember. And that is exactly what we're going to tackle today. You see, the best stories, the ones that really resonate, they often follow a kind of structure, a blueprint, if you will, that makes sure you've got depth, you've got context, and you've got that all-important authenticity. Now, this isn't about killing your creativity. No way. It's about giving it a solid launchpad. And today, we're going to reveal a really powerful one. We call it the storyteller's blueprint. And look, don't think of this as some stiff set of rules you have to follow. It's more like a guide, a really useful tool that helps you build a much richer story. It just makes sure you hit all the key pieces: the history, the culture, and maybe most importantly, what real people actually think. Okay, so to make this blueprint feel real, we need a good case study. And honestly, what's better than the world-famous, totally iconic Moulin Rouge in Paris? We're going to apply this blueprint, step by step, to this legendary spot and see how this framework can turn a simple travel piece into a story that really pops. So let's get started with step one. Every great story needs a killer opening, right? The blueprint says you can't just start with, hey, here's the thing. You've got to set the stage. You have to grab your audience and give them a reason to lean in from the very first sentence.
And here it is, the first rule of the blueprint. Kick things off with an engaging opening, a little bit of history, and a hook that makes people say, ooh, tell me more. Sounds simple enough, but this is where you lay the whole foundation. Let's see how that works for the Moulin Rouge.
Just look at how this simple timeline immediately gives us some drama. The Moulin Rouge wasn't just built. It was born in this incredible era, it was transformed, it was tragically destroyed by a fire, and then it rose from the ashes. See? This isn't just a list of dates. It's a story about survival and reinvention. That gets you hooked right away. And you can't really get the Moulin Rouge without understanding where it came from. La Belle Époque, the beautiful era. This wasn't just any old time. It was this explosion of optimism, of freedom, of new ideas. It was literally the birth of modern mass culture, the perfect, chaotic, vibrant world for a story about art and entertainment to unfold. And this quote, it just nails the feeling of that time. It gets to the heart of what all those artists and thinkers in Montmartre were feeling. When you include something like this, you're not just talking about a building anymore. You're connecting your story to this huge universal idea of artistic revolution. Now that is a compelling hook. Okay, so you've hooked your audience with that backstory. Now it's time to zoom in on the main event. This is where you really paint the picture. You give your audience those vivid details so they can see exactly what you're talking about. You have to describe the experience. So for our example, that means we're going inside the current Féerie show. Using the official description, we can break it down into 4 clear acts. We're not just saying, oh, it's a show. No, we're walking the audience through it, from the gardens to a pirate ship to the circus and finally to that legendary can-can. It makes it all feel so much more real and exciting. See what we're doing here? By breaking the show down like this, we're checking all the boxes. We're giving a detailed description, we're tying it back to the history we already set up, and we're showing the cultural importance of something like the can-can. We're guiding the audience, giving them the full picture. But here it is. This is the part where so many guides just stop, and it's where our blueprint demands we go deeper. The official story is one thing, but it's only half of it. To make something that feels truly authentic, you have to get the real, human vibe of a place. You have to go beyond the marketing brochure. So here's the absolute game changer in the blueprint. It says you must include personal stories and observations. This is what breathes life into your content, and that means you have to seek out the real, unfiltered opinions of people who've actually experienced it. Just look at this contrast. On one side, you have the glossy official description, and on the other, a pretty common feeling you find in actual visitor reviews. This right here reveals a massive tension, a gap between the perfect marketing and what it can feel like on the ground. This critique from a travel forum is so specific and insightful. They're saying, yeah, the skill is there, the costumes are amazing, but where's the soul? Including voices like this doesn't tear the place down, it adds a layer of honesty and complexity that your audience will absolutely appreciate. And here's another one, this time focused on the practical side of things. This person highlights that gap between the magical dream and the crowded reality of the venue. Details like this prove you've done your homework and you're giving a balanced, honest look at the whole experience. Oof, this comment is so powerful because it connects right back to that history we started with. This visitor felt a disconnect between the legendary past they were promised and the commercial present they got. Including this kind of thoughtful analysis takes your guide from a simple summary to a really compelling piece of cultural commentary.
So let's be super clear. The point here isn't about whether these visitors are right or wrong. The point is that finding and weaving in these real, passionate, and sometimes critical personal stories, that is what fulfills this part of the blueprint. It's what gives your work the authenticity and depth that separates the good from the truly great. All right, so we've walked through the blueprint using the Moulin Rouge. We've seen how to build a hook, describe the main event, and capture that authentic vibe. Now, let's boil it all down into a simple, actionable tool that you can use for literally any story you want to tell.
And here it is, your 5-point storytelling checklist. It's your roadmap. Start with a hook from history. Detail the main attractions. Explain why it matters to the community. Capture the real vibe with personal stories. And then wrap it all up with a quick recap and some useful tips. It's the whole package.
And why does any of this matter? Because look, anyone can go somewhere and snap a photo. Anyone can copy and paste facts from a brochure. But when you follow a framework like this, one that is built on context, detail, and real human experience, it transforms you. You're not just a tourist anymore. You become a storyteller.
Every single place on this planet has a story just waiting to be told. It has a history, a culture, and thousands of different experiences connected to it. So the only question left is, what story are you going to tell? Thanks so much for tuning in.